What are we going to teach today? What are we going to learn? I think we're going to teach dealing at home. How about that? A home skill. How to deal from home. We're going to break down the math.
One thing I've seen actually a lot before you, if you want to get to that,
yeah, 100%.
is people not understanding where their position is, so they don't. When they're betting, and there's a bunch of bets that we just saw, so you can follow where your money's at.
So here, let me get a stick because my pole isn't long enough. Did you catch that? No. Okay. Just zoom. All right. Anyways, it's craps. You got a combat here, and you know what I mean? What do you want me to do? It's craps. Okay. All right. So here's the very first thing. When we talk about the stick, it goes out. See this little corner? Every table has this little intersection, right? So when we teach dealers where to position people, here we start with 1, right? You just look at where the table is right around position 1, 4, 5, and 8. Okay, those are stat. So 1 is always right next to pole. The 4 is literally right where Jeremy, and you always deal to the rack. Okay, so that rack there, and then the next rack is 5. So the split off is 4, 5, and then 8 is next to you. So if you eliminate these 4 positions, that only leaves whoever is going to squeeze in, right? Because you'll notice that on most tables, there's not exactly 8 racks. So on a 12-foot table, it's like 9.5 racks. There's only one casino in town that I've seen that does exactly 8 racks at Resort World. They finally figured out to just do 8 because it makes it so much easier. You're in rack 6, you're here, but most of the tables have a few extra racks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 racks. So you start with 1, 4, 5, 8.
So these two here are actually cousins right here.
That's it, right next to each other. Yep. And so as you're a dealer, people come up to the table and play kind of the same way. Someone always, there's a lot of influencers. People like to shoot the dice. So you'll see one, left the stick, and then 2, depending on the position. Fewer people down the center. But everybody tries to position. Someone's in the corner, someone's down the center, someone's next to the base dealer. Often you don't see someone try to squeeze in unless the table gets busy. So if you start with these 4, makes it easy. And then you figure, so a lot of times when I'm dealing, even if I see these little nips here, I don't deal to them. I just put 3 up front and 4, 3 in back as much as I can, just to give myself some room, right? So these 39mm chips, you can only really put, 4. Some casinos use smaller chips, some a little bigger, so it could be tough. But yeah, those 4 right around the table. Now the other side, it's the other way, right? It's exactly the other way. So you look at it, here's the table, boom, right around 1 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's good. So do you ever deal to more than 8?
I have, but most casinos don't allow it.
They just don't allow it.
In fact, downtown it's like 6. The other day we're at Binion's, they backed us off at 5. It kind of depends how big the players are too, right? You know what I mean? If you have a few bigger players, then you can only kind of limit. And it also matters the caliber of the dealer. As you start getting into 8 different players around the table, it gets tough to manage the bets, move them on using the fingers. So if you're a newer dealer, it can be a little tough. Yeah.
Real quick,
yes.
We just got an anonymous donation of $500.
Get out of here!
Whoever that was, thank you. Thank you. $500. Nice job. Puts us over the 1,000 mark already, and we're not even an hour in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
I don't even know what to do.
What are the questions? That's fantastic, dude. We'll just stand here and look pretty.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Well, just our hands now. We're just doing the jazz hands thing.
Yeah.
So my biggest question, 2 things. One is order of payouts.
Yep.
So I deal a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
And so does Jeremy, actually.
Yep.
And getting it right when we have a 7-out or even a thing. What's the right actual order to pay for?
All right, so ready? There's 2 things. There's order of operations, and there's also the manner in which you pay people around the table, okay? So when there's a 7-out or a winner, all right? 7-out or a winner, you always pay from base to stick. You start from where you're at, and then you go around, take, pay, okay? And that's on a 7-out or a winner. Everything else is paid from position 1 to position 8 around the table, okay? So when you have place bets or come bets, and I'm going to get to the order of operations. So 1 is where you're at, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So one of the things we train our dealers is to kind of condition everybody around the table. Everybody comes up to the table, they want to buy in. They want you to, address their bet. You'll see people walk up and just forget there's anybody else at the table. That's my money. I need to bet. But as a dealer, you have to kind of control that, right? You have to sort of lock it down and get people to bet in order, and then expect the payout in order. So if I have you trained to be number one, you're going to put down your money first. I'm going to pay you first. It's going to be very copacetic. Get to Jeremy and have a nice orderly game. Now that's not always true everywhere. Again, it matters how experienced the dealers are, you know what I mean, how much they can communicate. Okay, so the next one is order of operations, not just the order of which you pay, all right? So even if you have like prop bets, I know that there's a tendency to want to do like the tough ones first, but again, if you have everybody trained from 1 to 8, you got to start with 1. Even if 4 is the tough one, you got to start with a 1 and move around. So if there's a lot of winners on hard weights, for example, you go 1 to 8, any kind of horn bet, CD, that kind of thing, everything's 1 to 8. The only thing we train our dealers to do the other way is base to stick, is a winner or loser on the pass line or don't pass, right? So if it's a loser on the 7 out, winner, that kind of thing. All right. Next is order of operations. Here, I'm gonna get this. Okay, order of operations. And the best way, a drill we do is just like this. Okay, these are potentially all the bets you can have. So let's look at, let's see this here. Let's pretend there's a $10 table and someone's actually got, here. Okay. So this is a very easy, so we start you off at the school just doing a couple bets. So you learn the order of operations. And so the order of operations is take, pay, move, pay. Okay, take, pay, move, pay. All right, starting from the outside in, but there's a few conditional caveats. Okay, so let's say the point is 4. Here, let's do this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this really quickly. Let's wind this down. Make this really easy. Start with very basic bets. By the way, there's a lot of trick drills or chip drills you could do. If you ever watch my hands, I'll get to those last. I'll show the chip drills so you can do it in practice.
What is he doing back
there? You deal for a while, and it looks like butter. You know what I mean? Butter. Okay. So take, pay, move, pay. So starting from the outside in, the highest priority is the furthest away. So the casino always wants their money first. So you step up the blackjack, if it's a loser, they take your money first, and then they take the cards. It's money, then the cards. They care more about the money than the cards, all right? So let's say it's a winner 7. Winner 7 on the pass line, take the don'ts, pay the line. Starting from the outside, I take the don'ts and move in from the field, outside in, and then I pay the line, take, pay. Okay, so that's the first part of take, pay, okay? And the take, pay is all on the outside. All right, take, pay, and then move, pay. Coming bets are also referred to as moving bets by crap dealers, okay, moving bets. All right, so now let's start this over. Pretend we have, now the reason why we line this up is you're not gonna see, very rarely do you see people bet the pass line that don't pass, right in a row. But it helps you to sort of focus your brain a little bit. So this is a drill we give to our dealers. We line everything up in a row, so it's a little more confusing. You know what I mean? Because this is a little easier in the brain, structurally. We also train dealers to keep their hands together. So if you notice, when you're a new dealer, so let's say 7 winner on the pass line, and I take this, I actually keep my hands together the whole way across. In Atlantic City, they actually tie their hands together, these rubber bands. It's very important to focus on bets one at a time. When you start doing this and start spreading out, you kind of lose control of the narrative on a crap game. So for dealers, it's one of the things that we train them right away. All the dice drills, hands together, focus on one bet at a time, hit the chips, okay? All right, so here, let's do this.
Do that again. That was the same set you just had there with the field and the
yeah, like all this stuff?
Yeah, that's what we just had.
Okay.
So you take, pay, right? So you took all the losers. So
let's say 7. Winner of 7 on the pass line, take the don'ts, pay the line. So you come around, you take the don'ts, you come back and take the field. Field has a lower priority, and then you come back and you hit just like that.
Does which hand you're paying those bets with matter? Is that like
not really.
Left hand, right hand kind of thing?
So we're going to get the outside hand and inside hand actually matters on a game. So if I'm on, this is the third base, which I love, right? So your inside hand is your right hand, your outside hand is the hand closest to the players. So normally when you, on a live game, you cut out chips with your inside hand, hand off with the outside hand, and that's for the benefit of the box person, so that you don't have a hand in the way. You follow? So if you do this, You know, we have a hand in the way, and then you're doing this. You know, they don't have full visibility as you go around the table. So
those of us who do it all with the same hand.
Yeah, so you guys work with whatever hand, but it matters because outside of that, I'll show you on the don'ts when it comes to lays and where you place the bets. The other tool that the box person has is the mirror, right? And it used to be back in the day, cameras weren't so good. You know, now cameras are high def, they can zero in, but all the cameras were top down. So they'd have one camera over each base, and they could, you know, they were those like monochromatic views that, you know, and they could only see top down. That's why one of the skills the dealers have is literally cutting checks, right? Because cutting checks proves the stacks. So they're not so, as long as the colors are the same, then the stacks are proved. So if someone has, like on a blackjack table, they don't even care how many chips are in that stack. This second stack that I paid with equals the other stack. You follow? So that's one of the skills.
So what is the control? What is the control then for the height of the stack? The mirror on the craps table.
Yeah, the mirror. Yeah, and then there's some dynamics as to like how many checks does you know, like there's also groupings of checks. Like here, this is, so when you cut down reds, it's in stacks of 5. When you cut down greens, it's in stacks of 4. You know what I mean? So you come to expect this as a boss. When you look over, you know, okay, that's going to be 500. If it looks like this, you're not as confident. You're not sure, you know, what that is. So there's a lot of different dynamics as far as the groupings of the chips, how they're stacked, how they're cut down. Crap table is a little different than like a blackjack table. So like on a blackjack table, they do what's called a splash. So let's say you have like, you know, they're paying you, let's say, 175. You know, they'll have 100 and then they splash. You'll see them do that, right? Some casinos have what they call a bridge pay, where if any 5 checks, they'll bridge it as to 5 chips, like some of the Boyd properties. You follow? On craps, it's just cutting in groups. So
there's
amazing.
no splashing.
There's no splashing. Yeah, that's one of the things that we have to. A lot of blackjack dealers that move on to craps, you got to stop the splashing. Like here, like that's $30 on a crap table. On a blackjack table, it would look like this, 25 and, you know, 5. You follow? So a little different. And so when you're watching the game, there's a lot of these little things, so you can watch the game and you can kind of see. I mean, I've watched up to 6 games at once, which is doable. You just got to really be hands-on. The only way you can do that is if all the dealers are using the right hand, cutting in the right groups. You follow? Otherwise, it gets a little unwieldy. You know what I mean? All right. So here, let's get back to take pay, move pay. So order of operations, because once you learn this, it makes everything else a lot easier because you can put it in your brain. Because you can start in a very linear fashion, doing one thing at a time. Okay, so let's say the point is 8. I mark the point, show the camera the point's 8, and I take the fill. By the way, interesting caveat is, on a blackjack table, as far as game dealing goes, you have one circle. Whatever's in that circle wins or loses, right? A crap game is a verbal game. People calling out, hey, give me, you know, whatever, 16, 17 inside. Camera can't hear that. They don't have volume. So they have no idea what the hell is going on here until you set it up. So once the dealer sets it up, now the camera can go, oh, that's what they wanted. You follow? So there's a lot of room for error. That's why it's very specific. What hands, you know, game protection, game security is very important. Because again, the camera has no idea. You know, you can call it a bet straight from the rack. You say, hey, give me 110. Maybe you're running late, dice are kind of moving, give me 110 inside. I say bet. And now you got a bet, camera sees nothing. You know what I mean? Right. If I didn't collect your money and follow up with that, you have, you know, free bet. You know what I'm saying? And say, you know what? I changed my mind, kind of thing. That's why, by the way, casinos have no call bets on the table. You know, they want to see the money. They want the money on the game. They want to see the cash. They don't want to get in a position where they're trying to figure out, you know, what you call.
But in a no call bet game, I've done this. You know, you know, dropped money and say, you know, press it up, whatever, and it's a bet.
Yeah, so as long as you get a bet, as long as it's booked by the dealer, but if you don't have the checks in the rack or the cash ready to go, because the biggest problem is if you lose, not if you win, right? If you win, no problem. If you lose, now I'm going to think about it. And they've had a lot of people who call out bets, and you know what I mean? They're like, never mind, you know, something else rolled, that kind of thing. All right, so here, let's do, I'm going to show you kind of what the worst thing a dealer might deal with, and then I'm going to show you how to get rid of the math on this game. I'll teach you the mathless lesson. How much time do I have?
As much time as you want.
Okay, good. Right? Because
especially the no part.
We're all children listening to the same.
It's all children of dice. Welcome.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Not children of the core, yeah.
Children of the dice.
All right, Malachi.
So once you get rid of the math and you move into colors and units, it really makes this this game a lot easier. A lot easier. You know, a lot of people are very intimidated, but as you see, once you break it down, it's less intimidating. All right. So here's a couple scenarios. Let's do this, and I'm just gonna, you know, for the sake, just pretend it's an easy game. None of you are playing this game. Okay? You guys have forgotten what it's like to just spend $6 on a number. Okay. All right. So let's do some odds too, and let's do. I'm gonna call out a 6. And I'm gonna just put a very basic, okay, so we're gonna pretend that we've already had a roll. Someone's already gone behind the 6. We're in the middle of a hand, a little bit of a hand, 6 has already been called. This same player, let's say it's next to me, they're going through the DC with a flat bet, okay? And then I have some other people. I wanna show you this here, I'm gonna show you this odds. Strangely enough, right? This person is betting a place bet at a come bet. You can go 2 ways to the number. So those of you who have a shit ton of money and catch a really big roll, that's one way to get over the table limit. And I've actually seen a few times that I've done put bets that aren't like 100 times, like, you know, Cromwell or whatever, or 20 times. It is when someone just has too much money. You're on a $100 game, and here's a $120 6, you're maxed out. Now you can just do a put bet with odds, you follow? And now you have, you know, $420 in play. Do you follow?
New Hampshire, $10 max limit, so that would.
So you would, yeah, that'd be great.
You got to use it there.
Yeah, you got to use it there. So I mean, the only times I've ever seen people really take advantage of put bets, even though Cromwell, you would think people on the 5 and 9 especially would do that. You don't see it very often, but just to get past the limit, or if they forget, if they're a come better and they just forget, they said, hey, just put me on the 6, you know, that kind of thing. All right, so we're gonna call a 6, strangely enough, just to kind of show you how this is. So again, take pay, move pay. The one exception is, so the one take is you take this, down behind goes first, okay, so it's always down behind is first. And then again, we're gonna move from the outside to take. If there was a big 6 here, which, you know, strangely, Jeremy, I think, had the last big 6 in town. Not a lot of big 6 and 8, but if there was, I would take the field, and then I would be paying the big 6 here. Okay, so that's take pay on this outside.
Immediately.
So take immediately.
Okay.
So that gets paid. In Vegas, it's only even money on the big 6 and 8. In Atlantic City, they pay like placements. So, and some other markets too, they pay a little better. Yeah. So, good.
I got a question. So they do it as convenience then?
I mean, you know, I had a guy that played high limit, big 6 and 8, and he wore a glove. He had a gloved hand. He didn't want you to touch it. He just didn't want you to touch his money and interact with him, even though you had to pay it. But he would pay $500 each. It would pay $583 here. He's getting even money all day long. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, convenience. Dude. Welcome to Vegas, sir. Congratulations. Common sense kind of takes the detour sometimes. Yeah. All right. What was the question? Go.
So my question was, if the order take pay, right?
Yeah.
You take
Pay.
field.
Yep.
Why not take? Well, you took that first.
Yep.
Took
Down
this one
behind
here.
first. Took the field.
Why are we not paying this guy first?
No, because the 6 is called.
Yeah, we haven't won or lost.
No, there's no winner.
No, he's
There's no
he's the first. Well,
That guy over there doesn't have
this
any
guy
bets
here's
out.
he's getting paid though, right?
No. So now we're gonna get to the move. Remember, take pay on the outside. Now move. Now the D
Okay.
before C. The don't come always goes first because this is the cheater. So this is the game protection. So we want to move this so we don't forget it. It's off of our peripheral for a lot of dealers having money in this box, and very often this is the guy that takes advantage of the game. Not always. They may forget. But if you don't move this now, and then you forget it, then the next roll, let's say it's a 11, they're like, oh no, that was supposed to go last roll. You know what I mean? It's very easy for them to take advantage of the DC. So the DC always goes first, and you would move. Now there's a thing which a lot of you guys do. You're not supposed to do this, by the way. This is called going hand to hand. You cannot hand checks off to your other hand in midair. You have to put them one hand in the cum, release, and pick them up with your other hand. The other thing you can't do is you can't stack or print chips like this, okay? You can't put them together like this and hand it off. So ideally, you know, you want to learn how to pick, come straight off the stack, and then put it together and pay, right? You'll see me often, you know, doing stuff like this, but that's me, you know what I mean? Like, I've been dealing long enough to, like, you know, kind of get away with it. But I know some people who go like this, you know, and it's kind of cheating. But once you're a deal, and you see I go hand to hand a lot, it's a terrible habit, but I don't know, I can't break it. All right, so here, let's go to 6. So I went behind. Now moving bets are first. Take, pay, move bets. So all the come bets. So if there were more come bets here, it doesn't matter. I have to do come bets first. So here is, you know, 17 off and on, and I would probably hand that off, and then I'm going to pay this, I'm going to pay this, And now I go to the place bets. Even if this person has a come bet and a place bet, I have to go come bets first, right? And then go to the place bets last, all right?
So that person right there is getting paid in 2 separate segments.
Yep. So that's going to be
Okay.
40, and now same bet. And that's another thing we teach. So we teach all of our dealers to say same bet. Because that initiates a response. So a lot of times when you're at a casino, if the dealers aren't talking to you, sometimes you get lost in the action, right? Because they're not asking you for a response when it's your turn. So I say same bet. All of our dealers say same bet, so that way you know. Now you got a decision to make. You want to press? You want to leave it the same? You want to do whatever, right? And then I would go around and pay everybody else. Now the other
That come out there.
yeah.
Did you miss that one?
No, it's right there off the apron.
Because he has a come bet up in the
He was
six.
quick.
No, the come bet that's there.
Right.
Yeah, so
That's part of move,
This
right?
is the 17th. I already
Oh,
handed it
Off
off.
and on again.
Off and on.
Slick. Yeah.
Hey, David, real
Hey,
quick.
anybody? I thought they delivered coffee. You want to?
Hey, David, real quick. We
yes.
just got a $50 donation from my brother Jesse Olson.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So here, ready? Let's do this. Okay. So here, let's talk about the lays and how do we position lays. Let's pretend that a few people had. I'll go over these lays, but hold on, the good stuff is coming. My best class that we have 2 classes. We have a basic craps class, and then we have what's called a dice master class. So we teach a lot of students come back. Once you learn dice to break in and kind of start off as a dealer, then you end up wanting to go to like Bellagio and Aria, a lot of these higher end places, and then the action completely changes. You're dealing with higher limit tables, you deal with different types of betting mentality, lots of different contexts, the way $800 across and how they press and what they press and understanding all those units. But here, okay, so here's some basic some lay stuff. So on the lay, usually on a 3, 4, 5 game, which is 3 times, 4 times, 5 times your bet. Most strip club properties have 3, 4, 5 odds. You can go up to 6 times your flat as a lay. Okay, reversed odds. All right. And so here on the 6 and 8, you would bet units of 6 to win units of 5. Okay, right. So every 6 is going to pay you 5. And the great way to know if it's a good lay is every good lay on the 6 and 8 is also a good place bet. So if it makes a good place bet, it also makes a good lay. Like so, $12, $18, $24, $30. So if you're familiar with place bets and you move to the don'ts, every good place bet is also a good reverse odds on the 6 and 8, right? And then the lay always pays what's under the cap. All right. So if it should be 7 out, here let's do. If it should be 7 out, it pays what's under the. I'm going to get to that in a minute because that's good stuff. That's worth a few donations, by the way. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm going to put that out there. We're going to ask you, okay? Because I don't come cheap. Just so you know, it's not cheap class. Okay. Now here's what they call. This is a cap lay. So anytime the flat and the lay pay the same amount with the same number of chips and the same color, you can do what's called a bridge, and you'll see dealers who will lean over and they will bridge it, right? Because this $30 lay pays 25 and the flat pays 25, all right? So for, if you're gonna go pay it as a dealer, you would just have to hit it twice, okay? And the great thing about that is it's really easy to watch if you're a box person, all right? So here, let's do as an example a 7 out. So I could pay these lays and go to that. So a 7 out is take, pay, move, pay. This one starts from the base and goes to stick, and the only one to take is here. And on a 7 out, this goes here. Dead money goes right in the middle on the 7 out. Okay, goes nowhere else, goes right here because that's going to trigger you to clean up. All right, so it goes 6 or 8, somewhere in the middle. All right, if you're, it goes somewhere in here. It's not a big deal. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pay, and then I'm going to pay that. All right, and then to pay behind, we clear our hands. Once we released our stack, move those bets forward, and then we pay, clear our hands, and then we hand off, and that would be the DC better. And now we have a chance to clean up, right? All right, so here, now I'm going to show you guys some, you got any questions yet? Anybody?
I would like to interject real
Okay,
quick.
yes.
A big thank you to Anonymous for donating $100.
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Fantastic, thank you. All right. All right, ready? I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of the math in this game. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to go. We're going to do that one. All right. So I'm going to just mark the 4. I'm going to go over sort of pass line bets. I'll sort of move my way back. How long do you want me to go for?
We have till 7 at least. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Plenty of time. Okay, good. I can fill up dead space like nobody's business, dude. Nobody's business. All right. By the way, I love this thing. I really do. I love what you're doing. It's fantastic.
Thanks,
Okay.
David. We appreciate you having us here.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so
Great
everybody
host.
knows 3 times, 4 times, 5 times odds. So that's a matter with a flat. Flat bet's 5. You can bet up to 3 times. Okay, right? And interestingly, the great thing about 3 times is, for dealers, it's made it very easy to figure out what the total you need to pay somebody, right? So here's where we're going to get a little math. We're going to do a little math here. So I just want to show you, okay, so this bet would pay 30 plus 5 is $35, right? 7 times 5 is also $35, right? This bet would pay 21 times and 21, 42 plus 7, 49. 7 times 7 is 49. I know I said I would get rid of the math. Here, I'm going to show you how math.
Dude,
So
that's worth the price of admission right there.
there you go. And then here we have 7 times 15 is 105. See, I don't have to bother with the back anymore. As long as someone takes maximum odds on a 3, 4, 5 table on any number, it's 7 times the flat is the total answer.
On any number.
On any number, 7 times the flat.
Dude, that is
All right.
amazing. Okay.
I'm gonna show you
So
some.
I have a
Yes?
question. So
Yeah.
you're totaling. Can you
Yeah.
always total, or do you sometimes have to?
You can't always total. If you're color up and you're trying, you can always total. At a casino, if you're not saving checks, you can't total. So for example, here I'm not saving checks. Okay, so by that I mean 21 pays 42 and 7. You see? So if I can split it up like that, I'm not saving checks. Here, I'm only using 2 checks. Otherwise, it would look like, it would look like this, right? See how many checks I have here? But here with 105, I'm using, just 2 checks. I could also go like this. I could also pay it this way. You know what I mean? Pay that way, 105.
Would they pay a black on that?
No, so not a black player, so they wouldn't. You'll notice, by the way, if you guys, you guys play a lot. They put out the green before they get into black.
Fill up your rack.
Yeah, they'll fill up your rack 100% because technically that's not a black player. And if you get black, you might squirrel it, and they're worried about the check going south. You follow? We were at I won't mention where, it might or might not have been Binions, but I won't say though. It was in the dream. But we had 450 on the 6 and 8, and they literally had the stack here. They wouldn't even put out working stacks to set up the bet. You follow? Wow. And it's just the nature of it. The minute the blacks go out, they have to make they have to call them in, and if someone ends up cashing them out, they got to call the cage. It's this whole process. So box people just lazy. They would rather not go through all that.
Does that change at a quarter table?
Yeah. So a quarter table. My common thing is if someone has 50 with full odds, now that's a black player because they're going to go through so much green. They start hitting points, and you know what I mean. They're going to have a lot of green. If you're 25 with 50 or 25, maybe not for a minute. I might fill you up with 1,000 in green and try not to get the black because people do squirrel away the high limit tips, right? So the casino wants you to play as much as possible. All right, I'm going to show you some other little secrets. But I'm going to show you how to be a high limit dealer. All right, I'm going to show you a little of my. Go ahead.
My notebook. The white notebook over there. Writing that down. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why'd you
7
write down
times.
David?
How to be a...
I'm going to write that down. David is awesome.
Yeah. Very good. All right.
That is
All right. Ready? All right. So I got another one. Another little secret from the '90s, by the way, when there were 2 times odds. So a lot of people bet double odds. Okay. Well, here's a little thing. If it's double odds, it's always, if they take double odds on the 4 and 10, the total is 5 times the flat. Or every green for every red and every nickel for every white. So for example, if someone bets 6 with 12, it's a green for every red and a red for every white is the total answer. Right? So $30. That would be the total. So with this math, it's easy. But let's say someone does something ridiculous, that gives you a little brain fart. And as a dealer, when you're on the game literally all day long, the brain gets tired. So it's good to have different ways of going. So look at this. I got 8 with 16. It's a long day. I can't figure out 32 plus 8. So I got 1 green and 3 red. So it's 1 green for the red and 1 nickel for each white.
Only on the flat.
Of the flat, only on the flat,
odds.
on the
Okay.
4 and 10.
For
that's
2
the flat.
times on.
For 2
For
X
double odds, yeah.
That's 4 and 10 only.
4 and 10 only.
Now, how often do you see bets like this instead of 10?
Holy crap! Were you here for your meetup, dude? I mean, come on.
I'm trying to facilitate.
I will say this: so, like, you know, if you go downtown or local places, you will see people who bet progressives of dollars. So, you know, even on a $5 table, they're not people that will scale to like $15, $25. Just use red. They're getting some dollar ammo to play it. Once you get to, like, you know, higher end casinos, you don't see that. You mostly red checks. Yeah.
Now, as a dealer, can you say, hey, do you want to make that 10 or 15, or you're not supposed to?
I mean, you're really not supposed to direct the play.
Right.
You know, you're not supposed to have a role. The players should just, it's their money. You're not supposed to give them strategies.
Whatever they want.
Working action. Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of times, you know, when people bet, you know, odd amounts on the 5 and 9 for odds, I don't even tell them to add the dollar or make it even. Most people just don't care. You know, they're losing out on 50 cents. You know, we have suppressing bets. We go to 36. You lose out on 40 cents. Most people that are playing just don't care. And if you start having that conversation, it leads to other conversations, and now someone else is asking. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So as a dealer, we kind of mute it a little bit. All right. So ready? Here it is. Ready?
It's a question from Chad.
Go ahead. Go.
All right, I'm gonna pop it up on screen real
Yes.
quick. So this question is from Duracell. Question
Yes.
for you, David.
Yes.
About checkers. What do people with big buy-ins get in regards to black chips if they don't want to give them out?
Oh, so if it's a big buy-in, you have to give them color. You're only supposed to give one stack of each color, typically, unless someone asks for more. So if someone buys in for, let's say, $2,000, I mean, we're absolutely going to get them black, right? We assume they're going to be, you know, playing or scaling. Even if they're martingale, they're going to need it. You know what I mean? So it all depends on what you're buying. If you're buying this 600, you're going to get a stack of green, stack of red. At 2,000, you're going to start getting black. If you're buying for like 800, it might be all in green. But, you know, once you start scaling, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also from Duracell, he put in chat for anyone to match him that he's going to sponsor $1 per roll for Mrs. Press by One to roll.
Oh, there you go.
So later on, we'll do it. $1 per roll from Duracell.
Yeah.
Anybody in chat who wants to match that, let us know in chat. That's awesome.
All right, ready? All right, so I'm going to try to get through some of these little tricky dickies. The 6 and 8, though, those are the biggies, all right? 6 and 8 are the biggies. That's the hardest thing. A lot of dealers, they get tapped out managing these two numbers, both on the place bet and the lays. I'm going to show you a basic exercise to, like, literally know every 6 and 8 bet, right? Because 7 to 6, you know, gets a little wonky, especially when you get up to higher units. And then when people start making lays, it can get a little weird. So I'll show you how this works. All right. So on the 5 and 9, it's anyone that takes double odds, the payoff is double the odds. Okay, the total payout here is 30 and 10, 40, double the odds. So, not for this bet, but let's say someone does 65. Yeah, let's say they do 65 and 130. Pays 260. All I gotta do is cut out 2 of these. Double the odds of the 5 and 9 pays double the odds. No math involved. And I don't even have to do any math. All I need to know is I got 65. Just match the color. I need 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of those. I'm done.
I thought you were just being obvious. Double odds pay double odds.
Double odds pay double odds. Yeah, I know. It's so easy. See, I tell everybody how easy this game. They don't believe me. They don't believe me. Oh my God. All right, you ready? The 6 and 8 blows everybody's mind. I'm gonna make this so easy. This is ridiculous. First of all, let's start with the really easy bet. Okay, every red gets a green for odds, right? So that would be 3, 4, 5 times odds. So we'll work with that, right? So a couple ways to win. So right away we know this is base 30 and 5, 7 times a flat, right? So 7 times a flat, any max odds on a 3, 4, 5 game is base 7 times a flat, okay? Or whatever's in back gets the front. So let's say you don't know 7. So let's say somebody snuck up on you, okay, and did this, okay? Okay, so here's what they did. Okay, by the way, I don't know what 5 times this is. I don't care. Well, here's what I know. Every red gets a green for odds, and every white gets a red for odds. Now, check this out. If I'm going to pay this, all I got to do is I got to cut out the odds, okay? Cut out the flat bet. All right, here's the 17 bucks, right? And then I got to add another flat bet to the payout. That's it. Because the odds pay the flat. right?
Odds pay themselves plus the flat.
The odds pay themselves plus the flat. That's the odds. That's what they pay.
odds.
6 to 5. Here's the 5. Here's the 6. On 6 to 5. You see? Here's the 5, but here's the 6. This is the 6th unit. You see? So all you ever have to do is cut out the odds with the flat and then the flat. And it pays. Done. You don't even have to do 7 times. Who cares? 7 times. It's starting to get wonky. You know, you don't need any on the 6 and 8. You need no math, 0 math. All right, ready? So I'm gonna get to.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so here. Okay, I don't want to give it all away. It's just, I still got to give you a reason.
buy the master class.
You gotta come down and get the class.
Where's my money?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, we're going to need you to publish this.
Yeah, I know, right? All right.
They're on camera for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Go ahead and pause it.
I'm literally taking notes.
All right, so you ready? So now I'm gonna do place bets. So this is one of the very first drills that we have students do. So the first thing you have to know are the caps, okay? What we call the caps. So the caps on the 6 and 8 is this bet, the 6, right? Divided by, its unit 1, which is a $1 cap. Every red gets a white. Not every casino uses whites or blue, it's whites, blues, grays, whatever, okay? Every red gets a white on the 6 and 8, okay? Every green gets a red. We say every check gets a mate. Whenever we're on a dice game, a black is not a black. We look at the black as 4 green. That's it, 4 green. So it gets 4 reds, and that's what a good placement is, and that's what the cap. But here's the thing: we need to know the caps because if you know 6 to 60, you know not only do you know bets on the 6 and 8, you also know bets on the 5 and 9, and everything is interconnected. It's quite simple. You ready? Okay. Here's a $6 8, and it pays the bet plus the cap, $7. All right. Now we all know this bet, but when we get higher, that's where we need to know how this works. Okay. So let's say, what we do is we teach the dealers to. Okay, there's a press 12, right? Then it pays $14. Everybody with us? $14. Yeah. All right. So and then you press $6 8 times. Did you catch that?
Wait, no.
No?
Yeah, you pressed it.
All right, we pressed it again. All right, so we're going to go up 1 unit at a time. We're going to go up 1 unit at a time, okay? All right, 6. Here's 6, all right? Pay 7. We hand off the cap on this one, and we go to $12, okay? Now, for this one, we do pick 1, leave 1. And then now we have $18, right? That way we're not switching hands, so we're going up $6. The cap on $18 is $3. We can't always see the cap, but we need to know the cap, because if you know 6 to 60, you know every single bet. The 4 and 10s, it's easy to 2 to 1. The minute you get to 20, 2 to 1 minus the 5%. Okay, so now it's 21, right? 21. And then it goes up $6. Looks like that, $24, right? All right, ready? Okay. All right, here. Let me, because this is a good drill. Okay, ready? We're going to show this. Okay. There's 21. We take that cap off. It's 15 change. Then we overpay. 24 pays 28. We go 30 for 2, and we hand off. Bam. Okay. 30 goes up $6 to 36, right? I take $1 from the player, and now I got 36. 30 is the change, right? We got the okay. Next bet is 42. 36 plus 6 is 42. I'm gonna come back in a second. Just hang on. So 42 plus 6 is 48. 42 pays 49, right? Are you with me? Are you with? I know I'm losing some of you. See, $7 cap. You with me, John? Mm-hmm. You with me? All right, $7 cap, right? Because 30 and 2, right? $5 cap, $2 cap.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. Here we're gonna go. So So this has $7 cap and it pays 49. 42 plus 7 is 49. Okay. We're gonna go 42 plus 6 is $48, which we have right here. We always build in the cum, and then we hand off whatever's on the place bet. So now we have $48. $48 pays $56, and 48 plus 6 is $54. Oh my God. All right, here we go. $54. Right? 54 pays $63. Okay, $63. So we have a $9 cap. $9 cap, right?
It's hidden.
It's hidden. The first hidden cap, okay? Now we're just gonna go to 60. So here, we got 60 here, and bam, we can throw this off, right? So 60, we just practice the cap. $6, $1 cap, $12, $2 cap, $18, $3 cap. Now here's why, you ready? Okay, now we're gonna get into some wonky stuff, and we're gonna show you how we can deconstruct really big ass bets. All right, and I'm only gonna do this, I'm gonna do this a little bit because we do have a school, CEG dealers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Holy Holy crap! But it is for a good cause. And all right. I know I lost a few people, but that's okay. 102 has, do you know what the cap is? No. Okay, so what do we have? 102 is, let's say we have a 60, okay? And maybe we have a $42, right? 60 and 42 is 102, right? 60 and 42. So here, this is a $7 cap, and this is a $10 cap. $17 cap. The bet plus the cap is the payoff. Pays $119. You see what I mean? Now here's an interesting thing, right? If we know that there's a $17 cap, and this is where we go to color. I want you to look at the bet like this. Okay, this is 102. Okay, so it pays $119. Okay, hold on a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. You remember I told you about the 5 and 9? Okay. So 102 has a $17 cap, okay? That means it pays $119, this place bet. Do you know what the bet is on the 5? The exact same bet on the 5, what pays $119?
84?
$85. $85. Here's what we do, ready? Here's what we do. So we have a $17 cap. I take the 2 off first, and then I know I just need to take three reds from these 2, leaving me with $85, you see? So we teach dealers to take this off first and then work your way back in color. So now you're left with 3 green and 2 red, which is 85. But wait a minute, it gets better. Wait a minute. All right, I know hopefully some of you at home, here's a $102 lay against the 8. You know what this pays? It pays $85, you see? So no matter how complex this bet gets, so any good lay is a good place bet. Whatever's under the cap is what the lay pays. You follow? Yeah. So if you have, let's say, look at this bet. This one, I'll show you a few bets that really screw with a lot of dealers. You know, strangely enough, you guys get there though, so that's pretty cool. All right, so here's you guys here, and then I'm gonna bring out the purple. Hold on, let me not mess up anything here. Okay. So here's some bets that a lot of dealers don't see, and this is why we have Dice Master. Okay. Here's a $150 8, right? $150 8 is how many green chips? 6. And what are the odds? 7 to 6. Right? So worst case scenario, we always remember it pays 7 to 6. 175.
Why would you just call that 15, pay it 180?
Because it's not 180.
Well, it's 150.
Pays 175. Are you talking about?
Because that doesn't have a cap on. Never mind. That's why you do it. That's why you need to go to the class.
Yeah, no. All right, so it pays 175, right? So if we know it pays 175, that's pretty easy. How much is the cap? What's the cap? The bet plus the cap is the payoff. So if we have 175 here minus 150, it's 1 green chip, right? So if somebody does a $150 lay, how much does it pay? 1 1.25. Whatever's under the cap is what the lay pays. Done.
See, I gotta unlearn the math because I know the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know the colors.
All right, so here's the other great thing. If you know that the lay pays 125, guess what that means? 150 on the 8 is like 125 on the 5, right? Everything is just one giant family here. Okay, this is the unit of 5. This is the unit of 6. Okay, ready? I'm gonna just do this very quickly, and we'll show you some press. Okay, 210 right, pays 245. All right, so real easy. So what's the cap? Well, here's 210. Here it is, $35. The bet plus the cap is the payout. All right, so it's a $35 cap. All right. So ready? I'm gonna move this back here. How much does a no 6 pay? $210. If you take 35 out,
off of that.
Yep. Take the 2 reds first, and then 1 green. What does that leave you?
175.
Bam, 175. Done. That's what it pays. 175. You see?
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Guess what? That bet is this bet. See? And the reason why that's important is because high limit players will chunk and ask you, I want this on the 6, I want the same thing on the 5. You follow? They'll bet in equal, 800 across is 125, 125, 150. You follow? All right, let's go for this. Okay, this is $270. Who knows what it pays? $315. Fantastic. Thank you for playing, sir. All right, we got $315. Okay, so how much is that? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah, here's $3.15. Okay, I have $270. So let me. Oh, I gotta do this too. Holy smokes. Okay. Okay, ready? I know, right? There's $3.15. Okay, and then I'm gonna take out $270. $270, leaving me with a grand total of $45. Fantastic. Okay, and then look, minus 45 leaves me with 2 1/4. That's what the lay pays, 2 1/4, right? And so that means it's 2 1/4 on the 5 pays $3.15. Anyways, all right. Wow. One more I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna show you how this gets $7.50. A lot of dealers.
Step still. That's going over my head.
I know. A lot of dealers, they might see this. $750, right? Okay. When I was a bird dealer, playing 25-cent game, dealing 25-cent games, you know, it wasn't uncommon to see $7.50 as a correct bet on the 6 and 8, and it pays. How much does it pay?
See, I break.
Well, there it is. So you can do that exactly that.
That's
Look,
what I would do.
6 pays
Yeah.
7, 150 pays 175. That's the answer. 875, right?
Yep.
That's it. It pays 875.
Is that what you would do? Break it down like that?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So like if you have, let's say someone does, this is one of the biggest things. We call them chunkers. So let's say a guy comes up to the table, because a lot of people that are, you know, have a lot of money, they really don't care about the units. They'd be like, here, put that on the 6, just like that. And most people see this bet and they're like, holy crap. Or here's a better one. You know, here let's go on the 6. And I'm gonna do both of these really quick, and then we'll call it. I think people are starting to fall asleep now. Wow. We're getting less donations. Dude. I don't want to.
I do have some donations if you want
Oh, really?
a little break from talking real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so big shout out to Von Lark for donating $5.
Fantastic. Thanks.
We also have Gus Moshman donating $20. Sweet. John on your channel, DJB Thunder donated $20.
Sweet. All right.
And we also have a donation from myself, Papa Degen, and Mama Degen for $200 in memory of Thomas and Phyllis Fife.
Yeah.
And also Dual Monsters donated $20.
Wow. That's nice. All right, I can do these last. Pretty awesome. All right, ready? All right. Put that on the 8. Bam. Done.
Don't even know.
So the highest limit game I've ever worked was 10 grand. It was a $500 minimum game. We had 8 people at that table at $10,000, $500. One of them was some famous sports agent, and then the others were just complete, utter DJs, dude. A guy started the table with a $5 chip he threw onto the game from slots. And he could play $5 because he would lose millions playing baccarat. So they were like, "Yes, sir, you can play whatever the hell you want." Whatever you want. Dude. All right, so a lot of these guys, one of the worst players ever. He's still alive, so he might see this. His name was Ira, and any dealer back in the '90s, he was literally the biggest stroking dealer ever. He was a dealer at Caesar's Palace. He used to deal at Palace Court, but he would come over and bet ridiculous crap like this. He would first shuffle the chips and do colors, but you see this a lot. All right. So let's say someone bets this, so the first thing I do is break it down into the units I know. So one of the units I know is, here's 800, there's 900, I know that unit. And then I have, here, 120, you guys all know this, and we have $20 left over, okay? So I got 900 here, which is 1050. I got 140, so I got 140 here for 120, right? And I got $23, right? Okay. Wow. Done. Done. That's it. Then I stack this back up, say thank you very much, and there you go. Bam. And that's the answer.
Jeez.
Just like that.
That would have taken me a month. Seriously. A month.
Yeah.
Whip out the calculator at that point.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, I'll show you one last really good, easy little trick on the remainders on the 16. All right, ready? Let's do this one. Okay. All right. So remember how every check needs a mate? This is pretty good. Well, here's 25, right? 25, which is the same as 25, right? So it's going to pay 2,500. It's going to pay $3,000. That's not too bad, right? And then I got there's $3,000 right there, okay? And now I've got here another 125, okay? Oh, this one's too easy, and 60. So I have 125. There's 150 and 60. Just like this, right? So there, boom. That's the odds. Oh, I'd have to match
Just
it with
like
that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No worries.
And now we're done. All right. Here, the last thing is, interestingly enough, we train dealers. You only want to put 2 numbers in your head. 3 numbers gets hard. So I'm going to make this a visual. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so on the 6 and 8, the remainders are 5 to this, okay? Anything that's a single dollar, obviously if it's 6, would pay 7, all right? So the remainders on place bets always pay 1 less dollar than the stack. So 5 pays 5, you can't go negative. 10 pays 11, okay? 1 less dollar than the stack. 15 pays 17. 20 pays 23, 1 less dollar than the stack, and then 1 less dollar on the 25 pays 29.
1 less physical dollar than the stack.
Yep. So if you have somebody who literally bets $175, not a good bet. Instead of you doing, 150 pays 1, and then 18 and 7.
Which is how I would do it.
Exactly. Yeah. You got 175, right, from the 150, and then you have another $29, and you're done.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
see? Easy, see? Dice, easy stuff.
at that.
Easy stuff. All right, good? Wow. All right.
That is cool, man. Yeah.
Dave, we do have some questions from
All right.
the chat.
Yes,
as well.
go.
But
Yes.
real quick, ER Joe 2004 donated $50.
Nice.
All right, so Duracell 8 asks, do
Yes.
a skill and luck bet and press scenario get to weird amounts? How do you handle those kind of payouts?
Yeah, so
So
literally
like a
from skill and luck,
22
yeah.
inside pressure, and then it keeps bumping up.
Press units, yeah.
Yeah.
So is he a dealer? So here, let me show you this one. Oh no, I had it right. So when someone presses, let's say they press the inside, right? And then you got $22, right? So one of the things is you stack. You only go the one check. You see how much faster that is instead of putting the bets in front. So if he's a dealer, quite literally, just get in the habit of putting one check down. Only one check down. Don't be doing this and then have to go like this. It takes forever, right?
Which is what
That's what I do too.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
for those kind of payouts,
Yeah.
do you like think about them because they're
No.
you're pressing like $6
No.
each time,
No.
right? So do you start adding
No.
7 in your head or how
No,
do you do it?
so never get ahead of the bets. It's a terrible practice. So like, let's say someone bets like some, and they press like this guy pressed $18, like in the middle of it. I could care less. In all chances, it's not going to hit.
Okay.
And when it does hit, and quite literally, I look for the most expedient. A lot of dealers like to convert these bets because they want to figure them out, and they feel like in the okay, let me get this 50. And then move this down here, you follow, and then and reset. But I don't convert them until afterwards, right? Unless I have to. There are instances in higher limit tables where, if someone were to give you like 300 in green, you'd have to bring it in here, proof it, and then set up the bet. You follow? All right. Hey, any more? I'm going to show you a check drill. Do I have time for a check drill? We got 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I'll
Yes,
show you some check drills.
absolutely.
All right, so one of the ways this is a great game, especially when you're older. You lose your small dexterity in your hands. You follow? And so we get a lot of older people that want to become crap dealers, and one of the things that we work with is
John, where is he?
yeah. So
Older players that want them.
yeah, crap dealers. Yeah. So cutting checks. The first thing with cutting checks is we want to level the checks in our hand. We want to keep our hand nice. We don't need to get all rigid. Keep our hands flexible. All right. You move through. Now the way we teach on dice is just start with it. Use your thumb and your pinky. Move the checks forward. Move your finger over, and then pull back. Okay. And then you want to get to where you squeeze. You just set the checks down a little bit, and you squeeze. You get as close, squeeze, and you just practice that over and over and over on both hands. So You drop check one, squeeze, 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 and you want to do both hands, all right? So, you know, the idea is to, you know, to be able to work both hands together, all right, and be as ambidextrous as you can with this game. Because remember, you're going to be moving around the table. You're not going to always be on third base, and you have to be able to, you know, cut out the chips with, you know what I mean, with the inside hand, whichever the base is, okay? All right. The next skill that you have is picking. Picking is coming back and picking, you know, 1 chip, 2 chips, 3 chips, you know, 4 chips, 5 chips, over and over and over again, accurately. You follow? Nice. And then, you know, just knock that out constantly. All right.
Feel like I have homework now, back in school. Gotta start practicing.
And then, you know, you can practice, you know, with, you know, $7 payouts, you know, $14 payouts, that kind of thing. All right. The next one we have is literally what they call drop cutting. So drop cutting is the ability, so you don't sound like, so a lot of people go like this, and they try to stamp out the beds. You sound like a horse, and it gets really loud. It's like galloping. You know what I mean? So what we do is we teach dealers, you know, to drop cut, okay? And drop cut is literally just squeezing out, you know, the beds, you know, just like that, and being able to set this up. All right, so I'm going to show you one of the practices. But before I get there, all right, whenever you set up place bets, we set up one place bet at a time. The small money in the outside hand, and the, you know, the bigger money in the inside hand. Let's say someone wants to do, you know, 64 across, just like that. All right. Well, it should have been cleaner, but hey, what are you gonna do? All right. All right. Now I'm gonna show you how to drop cut. Okay. All right. So drop cutting is the ability, and this is what we call a tower drill. You know, where you just, wow. I actually did that successfully. Doesn't always work out. So here's the thing. You ready?
Awesome.
All right. So you take 1 chip when you start out. You put it in the palm of your hand, and you move the chip down until you can release it with the last part of your fingers and drop it to the table. Now, you really want to focus on your drop to the table. You want this chip to be controlled. You don't want to just drop it like this and it'll roll like this. It rolls, okay? So you want to focus, put it at the end of your fingertips and drop it so it stays, okay? Now then you take 2, do the same thing. You put them in the palm of your hand, you slowly work them down to the hands where they get to the end, get them together so they're not separate, and again, keep them so that they don't go anywhere. I know a guy, I have a friend who's been a dealer, you drop them from up here, and they just it's fantastic. I can't do that. All right. And then, you know, once you learn that, you know, because you're going to be moving them down in the hand. And do you see how little movement, you know, I have where they all stay together? That's the practice. When you can get them out like that, then you can be much more reliable.
So you're moving them down. It's not gravity that's taking them down.
No, I'm moving them down. I'm literally moving them down the hand. It takes a little bit of strength, and you'll generate some muscles in your hand, like literally. You know what I mean? But you know, this is I'm literally moving.
And you want
I can see it.
I wish the camera could see that from the side, because from the side that's really cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then you do 3, and then you work up to doing 4. Okay, not as reliable, you know. And then your hands will get tired.
You're doing that with your middle finger, aren't you? Pushing them.
Yeah,
the middle.
yeah. So middle and my thumb. See? So I'm moving them down, you know what I mean, and pushing them up. All right. Last one. You ready? Well, last one is this. A lot of dealers forget this. When you're working with a lot of people on a game, you need to work on your fun. You need to be able to get these caps. The bets have to be clean. They can't be, you know, first of all, the caps always go forward. So anybody does odds, it goes forward, not back here. It actually matters. It has to go forward. Okay? When we pay this, you know, we're going to bring it off of the inside hand, pay on the outside. You know, there's a payoff. But one of the things we do is, you know, you set it up, and then come on and just, you know, aim for it, and try to get it tight as you can. Okay, work. It doesn't matter what the color is. All you're trying to do is, you know, get the bets in there, get them clean, and maneuver your fingers. You know. All right,
So on
good.
that offset,
have to be forward.
what is how do you determine what the offset is based on the different bets? Because sometimes it's the cap and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, so if it's a place bet on the 6 and 8, you know, there's always going to be some kind of cap. You know, there's a lot of caps you can't see, and then it's really just about the camera, right? So the camera, here's $4, the cap is 9, but you move these dollars forward a little bit. I do this so that the camera can see there's 2 green, 4 whites. You see?
Forward.
I just lean, I
So
just
like a little stair step.
By the way, strangely enough, I didn't know this is a little bit of a skill. You got to practice this. I assumed that it was a thing.
So if that's 72, set up a 72.
All right, so here's 72. All right,
Where-
so
because-
I would just do this. So 72 has a what cap? 12. But it looks silly, right? Because now it looks, so I literally just move it forward so I can see all the chips.
You tilt the whole.
I just tilt it up. And then, you can practice that. Now, if it's a come bet, so if it's a come bet 5 and 15 odds, it goes forward just like this. It has to sit forward. And when you pay come bets, you cut out the bet first, collect the bet in your outside hand, right? Move it off with the inside hand, you heel it off. And then that's supposed to be self-serve, but simple.
What's the point of it going forward? Why can't it go towards you?
YouTube question.
It's just, that is a good question. I mean, that's just the way it's been, evolved. It's just a standard.
I mean, I understand the camera wants to see it, but why?
Can't your box man see it too?
Yeah,
Right.
And I think if you did it this way, you would have a hard time. Like, I can't see the green in that stack, so leaning it forward lets me see what's there. You follow?
But that makes sense.
And if
For
the
the
box
dealer.
is sitting here,
Right.
Yeah.
from the dealer's point of view.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. I think that's. I mean, I got a lot more, but I can go on forever. That's good. Good. What do you think?
We have to come for
All right.
last.
Fantastic,
Awesome.
guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yes.
What if the player wants to argue with you?
Yeah, you just flip them off. No, yeah.
You let the box man handle
100%.
it?
You do not want to be an adversary on a game. If a player wants to have an issue, this is the guy. I'm not
Let
paid
him
to
do it.
argue. I'm
Okay.
the guy in the suit, who doesn't actually make more money than a lot of dealers, but he can take all the heat. That's the whole thing about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No adversary. There's a lot of dealers who will be an adversary. By the way, that's wrong. There's not a casino on the planet that teaches a dealer to be an adversary. Why would you?
Right.
That person might be tipping you. That's a player. You got
Right.
your adversary is right here, dude. You want to fight the casino? Some dealers take this game very personally, and it's not my money. You can have it.
Yeah.
It's all yours. You win it all. You know what I mean?
Win it all,
Win
right.
it all. Yeah, 100%. All right, good. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more thing.
David.
One more thing.
One more thing.
Oh, God.
One more thing.
What do you got?